You guys want to watch something called Genetic Sexual Attraction, the Destruction of the Pladl family? You guys want to watch that? Sounds like incest? Nuh-uh, it's not incest, chat. It's genetic sexual attraction. It's different.
Depictions of adoption, a significant amount of weight is given to the adopted character wanting to find their biological parents. They often showcase an intense need to know where they came from, who they came from, and why they were left in their early years. The adoptee wonders out.
Genetic sexual attraction, a sexual attraction between close relatives such as siblings, half-siblings, a parent and offspring, or first and second cousins who first meet as adults.
If they were wanted, if their existence was a mistake, or if their parents had ever really loved them at all. And while most media that shows this desire ends in a relatively neutral way, the reality is hardly as easy. In fact, in recent
What is that? What is this?
years, adults who
don't want to watch this pig? Well, suck it up.
were given up for adoption, meeting their biological parents, has created a psychological phenomenon that has led to incest and murder. Researchers have coined the term genetic sexual attraction to describe this experience.
Cry about it.
And unfortunately, it's exactly what it sounds like. The following is an excerpt from Cumbria.gov illustrating the subject.
I hated every second of screening this. You actually screen this, Prospect? What is wrong with you?
Genetic sexual attraction is described as a phenomenon of intense attraction between biological family members that can occur after close relatives are reunited after a long period of separation. Generally, in adoption situations, this affects families separated from birth or very early in the life of the adopted child. Genetic sexual attraction, on the other hand, occurs between two consenting adults who may know nothing of their familial ties prior to meeting, and in some cases have no idea they are even related when they meet. This phenomenon...
Okay, that is a little less gross. Okay,
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Hold up. What I'm saying is at least it's not like, oh, they had a child, they grew up, they raised a child, and now they're sexually attracted to them, right? At least it's like, oh, they've never met each other. They don't even know who each other are.
What the hell are you talking about?
And they just happen to be related, you know? Like at least it's not. Just, I can't save myself with this one. All right, I can't save myself with this one. Never mind.
Phenomenon is believed to be caused by several factors, mainly the fact that there is a basic human attraction towards those who have similar physical attributes to us. This attribute is overridden within families due to the Westermark effect.
I am saying it is still bad. It's not as bad as I was thinking. I was thinking it was like a parent attracted to their like infant child or some shit, you know?
Which turns off the sexual attraction part of someone's brain to relatives when they are raised together as a family and label their attractions differently. When separation occurs early within families, this effect does not occur. This therefore leaves individuals open to the attractions of birth family members who are family in name and biology, only without the shared experience.
Guys, there's nothing to save me from. All right? It's all, everything is bad here. Everything's bad, all right? I'm just forget it. Fucking forget it. It doesn't matter what I say.
Experiences and social conditioning that would normally develop. This is one of the major causes of genetic sexual attraction. A second major factor is the close bonding that generally occurs within families, and particularly between a mother and her child, that can lead to a need for this to occur when they are reunited. This can be a strong feeling of attraction and need to be close to the other person.
Too late now.
The closeness that comes from snuggling, kissing, and comforting an infant is one of the most important biological needs of humans. The lack of this closeness can turn into sexual attraction when reunited as a way of providing this basic need denied to them in the past. Reunion is already an emotionally charged situation, which generally leads to intense feelings of excitement and joy. Adults are often vulnerable at such a level of emotion.
The only people who find this okay are the vertical taco eaters. I don't eat my tacos vertical. I turned my head. So it's horizontal. We've been over this. All right?
Hey, Pig,
So
your buddy
we
Benny
add
here.
the-
I agree with you all the way. Love the stream.
I hate you. I hate whoever did that. I hate you so much.
Two main factors described above. At reunion, normal responses and reactions can be overridden without this being realized at the time. The focus on the newly discovered relative can become all-consuming, and other relationships, work, leisure activities, etc. can suffer. Also, the powerful emotions and pleasure from the experience can easily be expressed in an intimate and eventually sexual manner. Insight, reflection, support, and guidance
Stinky.
about something outside of people's general experience and understanding can prevent GSA damaging the formation of an appropriate and lasting relationship. This is why we need to acknowledge its existence and effects. And unfortunately, as you might have deduced, today's case involves exactly this. Welcome
Chat, why are you making me watch this shit? I don't understand. I don't want to watch this. Why are you guys making me watch this shit?
back to another episode of Dreading, or if this is your first time here, welcome. Today, we are going to be covering
I didn't
the
make you
case
guys
of
do
Katie
anything.
and Stephen Pladl.
I didn't
This story
suggest
was
this at all.
requested
This is
by
all you
multiple
guys.
subscribers and patrons, and after we began to do cursory research into the case, it became clear as to why they were so adamant that this case should be covered.
Even worse, you're okay with this. Oh my god! Dude.
This is potentially one of the strangest stories we have ever heard of, but it goes far beyond what we ever expected. With that said, as always, if there is a video you would like to see on this channel or a story you want more attention brought to, email us at dreading.official.
I'm gonna let out my unyielding
We try to
rage.
go through our emails every day. We're constantly adding new stories to our list. But as of now, we have over 4,000 emails still needing to be sorted,
Hey, Pig,
so it might
here's
be
some lines of
sometime.
words. Einschau olas nar and you sit on a throne of lies. It's just a flesh wound. I am a cotton-headed ninny muggins. Thanks for listening to my words. If you can guess which movies they from.
I know the "It is but a flesh wound." That's a fuck. I know what movie it is. I can't think of the name right now.
Before we get to yours. But
Yeah,
we
Monty Python. There it is.
promise
Thank
if you send it, we will. With all of that said, let us begin. Usually, in cases like the one we are about to cover, there is conflicting testimony regarding the person responsible for the crime. While the vast majority of people will undoubtedly know the person was always capable of whatever they have been accused of, there will also be naysayers, people in their life who will stand by them and believe there was no way they could have possibly seen the crime coming. But that was not the case with Stephen Pladl. Stephen Pladl was born April 6, 1975, and from the start of his life, he was described by those who knew him as a strange character. An unidentified classmate would describe.
How about new? What are we watching, fellas? Well, good thing you asked. I'm so glad you asked.
Him as being, at best, incredibly odd. Growing up, Pladl was intensely quiet, keeping to himself during school, and oftentimes refusing to acknowledge other people's presence. He would routinely ignore his peers, choosing to sit by himself, immersed in his own mind. He was intensely invested in his own interests, which included the San Jose Sharks hockey team. This interest manifested itself in his adamant refusal to wear
Pig's
anything other
favorite
than
video?
a Sharks jersey every day for a year in high school.
Dude,
According to his
I can't,
peers,
nothing it doesn't matter. You know, we're speeding. I'm fucking speeding through this video. All right. Does anyone even know what's happening at this point? All I know is, incest.
When he was asked to remove the jersey for gym class, he was incensed, choosing instead to get a failing grade and change. The few people who were close to him at the time described Stephen as having control and anger issues, often flying off the handle at small slights and taking his frustration out on them, sometimes physically. Despite his hardships in the real world, Stephen would find solace, as so many other people do, online. Via early social media sites, the 20-year-old was able to depict himself to others however he wanted, and it was through these depictions that he met and groomed Alyssa Garcia. Stephen preyed on Alyssa, exploiting the young girl and gaining her trust. When
Don't listen to them, Pig. Me and my wife, who is also my sister, fully agree with you.
she would vent about her home life or any issues she was facing in school, he would be there for her, telling her everything she wanted to hear and how she deserved better. As the two grew closer and closer, Alyssa began to pull away from her family, as they continued to state that they didn't approve of her friendship and relationship with the 20-year-old. After Stephen flew from New York to Houston to visit the high school student, he would convince her to move out of her family home and move in with him. But the moment she did, Stephen stopped acting as if he were the idyllic, loving, and attentive partner he had been, and began to physically and emotionally abuse the minor. The pair had very little money, and Stephen would often blame the child he was in a relationship with for that being the case. He would place any and all frustrations onto the 15-year-old, and given that she was in a new state, away from family or any other alternative support system, Alyssa began to believe the abuse was normal and deserved. When Alyssa was just 16 years old, she would become pregnant. She hoped that the pregnancy...
Oh! That's not good!
would change Stephen, that he would be more caring and compassionate towards her and their future child, and that the abuse would end. But the opposite was true. When she eventually gave birth to their daughter, Denise, she was horrified at how Stephen treated her. She stated that while she believed that the abuse she suffered at his hand was deserved, witnessing him hurt their newborn made her realize...
Pig, it will be okay, we will accept you with your Alabama philosophy.
It doesn't matter what I say.
Just how bad the situation was. If Denise cried or annoyed Stephen,
good job, Pig. Great video. I'm only watching this because Prospect had the balls to actually screen this video to make sure it's safe for stream. All right, I can't let that go to waste. I can't let it go to waste. He forced himself to watch it. All right, now we all have to suffer. Don't blame me. I'm not blaming you. I'm using you as an excuse.
Pinching her until she was black and blue, as well as placing the infant in a cooler to drown out the sound of her crying.
That's
while
not what I
holding
meant.
Alyssa down to prevent her from being freed, and on one occasion attempted to drown the child. It was after this almost drowning that Alyssa made the decision to put Denise up for adoption. She didn't know how to leave Stephen herself, still under the age of 18, with little to no support system outside of her abuser, but she knew that her daughter deserved to grow up in a safe environment, one with parents who could properly provide for her and treat her the way she deserved to be treated. Denise was adopted by the Fusco family, who changed her name to Katie Rose Fusco shortly thereafter. Anthony and Kelly Fusco loved Katie as if they were their own and supported her in all of her endeavors. When Katie began to pursue art and drawing, they encouraged her endlessly, telling her repeatedly that the only thing that could ever hold her back was herself. The following is an excerpt from Katie's online portfolio, in which she describes herself and her love of art. I've always said since people began to ask me why I love art, it's all I've ever known. As a child, I copied my mother's old drawings and would present her with each doodle, sketch, and painting. In my teenage years, it was where I found my voice. I learned to communicate my emotions to a wide audience, in a way it would grab attention and keep it, typically through humor and relatable situations.
I'm sure.
I became nearly famous in my oh-so-densely populated high school of roughly 600 students, for my spontaneous little comic strips. A pen and something to draw on became a safe place for me. Ink became my weapon against rules and regulations. There wouldn't be a corner in a classroom or a park that didn't have a secret little character living on it. Ask an artist why creating is important to them, and they won't ever stop giving out reasons. To be short, for me, a life without art is no life at all.
Well, you had the great start with your approval of incest. I never approved incest! Oh my god! Like, yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. I can explain everything away, but it won't matter. Apparently, I'm okay with incest. That's not the case. You idiots!
Video to watch.
Idiots!
Scouser, road rage, and car crashes. A lot of funny ones out there. Watch that instead of this incest Alabama shit.
Oh my fucking god, chat! I'm fucking done. Fuck this. Fuck this. Like, I don't even fucking care. Whatever. We're not gonna fucking watch this video. All right. It's not even gonna be posted a video. We're just gonna we're wasting the entire fucking video. All right. Fuck it. All right. I'm done. I'm done streaming, guys. That's it for me. I'm gonna delete the VOD. All right. Just kidding. We're watching the whole thing.
Number one inspiration to me is emotions. People, animals, even plants. A gentle shove from the wind, making a dandelion droop toward the ground. Makes it seem a little grumpy. A dog laying on its back on a hot summer's day shows contentment. My biggest focus, however, is usually human experiences. Although that may just be because I'm around them more often as a fellow human. Expressing beliefs and opinions through a simple cartoon or painting is what I'm mainly interested in. They say writers always look at life as if they were to describe it in full detail a moment later. Well, an artist like myself constantly looks at the world with humor and in short clips, catching short moments so relatable they almost go unnoticed. The emotions people and things show without even thinking about it, that is...
Alright, I'm not trying to, like, skip the positivity of this, but he's reading the entire thing, so... Let me see.
On one occasion, she led a group of students who petitioned the Dover Board of Education against sexist dress code policy, stating that it was not fair for the women of the school to be punished for wearing the same items of clothing male students were allowed to wear. These themes also made their way into her art, where she regularly showcased struggles that women have faced throughout history and society. A link to her profile will be left in the description box down below, should you want to view it yourself. The fact that Katie was adopted was never hidden or withheld from her, and throughout her life, both Anthony and Kelly were supportive towards Katie's interests in reuniting with her birth family. They were not made aware of the abuse Katie had suffered at the hands of her father, and given the fact that the abuse had occurred in the first few months of her life, she was none the wiser. It wouldn't be until Katie was a senior in 2016 that she would reach out to Alyssa and Steven via Facebook. At this point, the couple had gotten married and had a few more children. What are you, fucking nuts? Alyssa had gotten pregnant with their second child 10 years after Katie was born, and she would state that they were more grown up and well equipped to have children, which is to say that Steven didn't try to actively kill or abuse his own child the way he had with Katie. Oh, thank God. Setting that bar real fucking high. Dad of the year over here. When Katie reached out to the parents, they were ecstatic. Both Alyssa and Steven had discussed wanting to have a relationship with their first child, but they didn't want to overstep any boundaries that she might have had. Katie continued to talk to the married couple the duration of her senior year, growing closer to them than she thought originally possible.
Oh, no.
She felt drawn to them, as if they had been the missing link in her life. More accurately, she felt drawn to her biological father, Steven. According to her peers at the time, she would describe their correspondence as being deeper than she thought possible. And
Without further interruption, let's celebrate and suck some dick.
Poor timing! Thank you for the sub! And draw...
looked forward to speaking with him whenever she could. As senior year progressed, Katie's plans for her future began to change. She had been adamant that in the coming years she would enroll in a local community college, then transfer to SUNY Purchase to study digital advertising. She wanted to work as an artist,
Don't
flex her creative
apologize, you have
muscles,
no
and change the
control.
world. But it only
It's
took
just
a couple
unfortunate that all of my alerts have to do with sexual things.
months of speaking with her biological father to change those plans. Instead, much like Alyssa had before her, she was convinced to drop her pursuits of education and instead move in with the much older man. When this change of plans was presented to Alyssa, she was ecstatic. She didn't believe that her husband of nearly 20 years was depraved enough to groom his own child, and instead immediately believed the story he presented, which was that Katie should be a part of their life as their daughter and get to know her siblings. On many online forums, people have attacked Alyssa for not knowing what was about to happen and not being aware of how things would play out. But to be clear, she had been groomed and abused by Steven for years. Her first relationship was with a man who was incredibly controlling, and most people in her situation would have probably done the same thing. She was and is also a victim. Anthony and Kelly were apprehensive about this change, telling Katie that she could still have a successful, supportive relationship with her biological parents while pursuing her future career. But Katie was adamant about the change. The parents knew that their daughter was headstrong and independent, and felt that, even if they disagreed with what was happening, they couldn't make up her mind for her. By August of 2016, Katie would move in with the family of 4, and almost immediately, the dynamic of her relationship with her biological father would change. They were closer than anyone else in the family, and Steven was strangely territorial over Katie. He would try to isolate her from the rest of the children, and whenever Alyssa would enter a room that he was in with Katie, they would all fall quiet. The dynamic was strange, but Alyssa tried not to dwell on it too much. The entire situation was odd. Their biological daughter had rejoined their life in a new and unexpected...
Chat, why are you making me watch this shit? What is your problem? Why are you making me watch this? This is disgusting.
way, and they were just getting used to the situation. She figured that within time, they would sort out their relationships and things would be fine. But after 2 months, things would just get stranger. Steven began sleeping on the floor in Katie's room. At first, Alyssa believed the two had simply grown close, and he had simply fallen asleep in the room on accident. But
I didn't know you were from Tennessee, but now that I know, you're the only 10 I see. I really enjoyed the video, me, your good friend Ben.
Ben, please, for the love of God, leave me alone. We don't agree on it. Ben, please, stop.
Choosing to sleep alone in Katie's room on the floor, with the door completely shut, she confronted her husband. At first, Steven denied and fought Alyssa against her implication, but after a short argument, Steven stormed out of the home, taking Katie with him, and told Alyssa he wanted a divorce. Alyssa would move out of the home and begin divorce proceedings, but she had no idea just what was happening behind the closed doors of her home. Though she felt that Steven sleeping in their eldest daughter's room was inappropriate, she had no reason to believe that the man she'd been married to for nearly 2 decades would have groomed Katie the way he had.
Guys, since you guys are forcing me to sit through this awful video, we'll watch something good after, okay? We'll watch something good after this, okay? Get out while you can. We're 15 minutes in. We're too deep. We're too deep. Forcing you, yes. Why are you doing this to me? What do you mean it gets so much worse? Why did you want to watch this? I don't know! I didn't want to watch it, you guys did! Oh, God! Oh, fuck.
Done with her. She believed that he wouldn't cross the very obvious boundary of incest, but she was wrong. It wouldn't be until May 2017, not even a year after meeting her eldest child, that Alyssa would discover just how depraved her ex-husband truly was. Alyssa would stumble upon her 11-year-old daughter's diary, and through reading some of the passages, she found out that her ex-husband had begun a romantic relationship with Katie, that she was pregnant, and that he had told their youngest children to start calling their sister their stepmom.
Ah! Why?
You should kill yourself.
Why? Why?
Shut up, bitch. Oh my god.
Ah, fuck. Oh, fuck.
You should kill yourself.
The following is the passage as quoted by the Daily Mail. My dad calls her baby also his baby. Did he make her pregnant? My dad even says she's my stepmom. What the fuck? He doesn't even want me to say or call her sister anymore. Katie is my sister. She's probably his wife now, but in nature—
How does the 11-year-old have more sense than everyone in the entire family?
Sure, that's still my sister. Does she see me as a daughter or a sister? Following this discovery, Alyssa contacted law enforcement in order to gain a protection order against her husband for their shared children. That wouldn't stop him from doing it to his other daughters. She brought the diary entry and told the police everything she knew, and an investigation was started. The investigators would speak to the youngest of the Pladl family, who would state definitely that Stephen and Katie were in a relationship with each other, that they kissed and touched each other in front of them, and that Stephen told them to start calling Katie their stepmom. What the fuck? Where is this going? They also told the investigators that Stephen had told them not to tell anyone else about the relationship. I fucking wonder why, fucking father of the year, with Katie in order to protect her, because people would make fun of her if they knew. Would they? Would they make fun of her? Is that all they would fucking do, bro? This persuasion worked, it seemed, as both girls loved their older sister and repeatedly stated—
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I do appreciate that this guy—
in jail. Right away. No trial, no nothing. Right to jail. Right
I
away.
agree. I appreciate that this guy is adding little quips about how awful the father is. I don't know why. I feel like this video would be so much worse if he just said it and like didn't even make a comment. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like when people are just neutral and just say the story as it is, it just makes it that much worse. I don't know why.
They wouldn't want anyone to hurt their feelings in their interviews. After the protective order was filed,
I appreciate
the couple
the
seemed to
extra
realize
commentary.
that the nature of their relationship was about to be made public, and moved from New York to Knightdale, North Carolina. There, they were free to openly interact with each other as a couple, without anyone knowing that they were really related. Those who did come into contact with them described them as incredibly affectionate, inappropriately so, but as they stated they were about to be married, many people overlooked their behavior. On July 20th, 2017, just a year after officially meeting, the two were married. They lied on their marriage record, stating they were not blood related, and both Stephen and Katie invited their families to attend the wedding. The Fuscos would attend
What? 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 What?
the marriage, despite knowing that their adopted daughter was marrying her biological father in order to continue to be an active participant in her life. They were adamantly against the wedding and the relationship as a whole, but also they knew that if they refused to attend the wedding or tried to stop Katie from going through with it, that they would be cut out of her life. Having seen other cases of abuse where a partner is isolated away from any support system besides their abuser, they felt it necessary to be there for their daughter, despite what was happening. Stephen's mother also attended the wedding, although we weren't able to find any statements from her about the relationship. On September 1st, 2017, Katie would give birth to their child, a little boy that she named Bennett. However, shortly thereafter, Both Katie and Stephen would be arrested and charged with incest and adultery. Stephen was charged even further with contributing to the delinquency of a minor, as the relationship had started when she was under 18. Their son was placed into the custody of Pladl's mother, Grace. There was nothing to stop either parent from seeing the newborn. It was only after being arrested and forcibly separated from Stephen by the police that Katie seemed to realize how depraved and abusive their relationship had been. Stephen had taken over all of her focus. Anything she did that he didn't like was taken away from her, and for the past year of her life,
how are people saying it gets worse? How are people in chat still saying it gets worse? Also, by the way, just to clarify, all right, because everyone thinks that I'm the one who picked this. It was in the fucking true crime. It's right here. General Devious. Y'all can talk about them, not me. All right? I'm not the one who chose. All right? This is what happens. This is what happens when I pick a video in the chat that you guys send me, all right? This is what happens. It's not my fault.
Yay.
Completely
Sigh.
controlled.
Pig, you let me down with this one. My hope for you is lost. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Good.
As a result, I'll be putting you on blast. Pig-cest.
I'm glad, Ben
Her
Shapiro.
adoptive parents bailed her out of prison almost immediately, and once more, provided her a safe environment to understand what had happened. Because of the nature of the charges against the couple, they were barred from speaking to each other, and within a few short weeks, Katie decided that she needed to end the relationship. She broke the protection order set by the court to break up with Stephen. However, as you likely surmised by us discussing this case at all, he didn't take the breakup well. He had established a firm control over his daughter, starting...
Apologizing is for the weak and wrong, which is why you should do it to me because you are weak and wrong, and you dance badly.
Wrong.
When they first talked online, he had done the same with Alyssa, and he had been able to keep a hold of that control for nearly 2 decades, until he no longer needed her. The very idea that his own daughter, the one that he had so meticulously groomed for years, would leave him was impossible. On April 11th, 2018, mere weeks after Katie had ended their relationship, Stephen would pick up Bennett from his mother's home, under the guise that he wanted to spend time with his son. He would bring the boy back to the house, and upon entering, suffocate the child, then hit his body.
Just burn him! Just burn the guy already! Please! Oh my fucking god! Kill him!
In a closet. Well, I mean, of course he did. He's fucking Satan, apparently. So, I mean, yeah, tack that onto the list. After killing his son, Stephen would drive from North Carolina to New York, intent on killing his firstborn child / ex-girlfriend. He stalked Katie from outside of her parents' home, waiting for her to leave so he could kill her like he had killed their son. However, Katie was not alone. Her adopted father, Anthony Fusco, and her left the shared home together, intent on running errands that day. But while they were mere blocks away from the family home, stopped at a stop sign, Stephen pulled up behind them and opened fire on their car, killing both of them. He drove off, leaving his ex-wife / daughter to die with the only man worthy of being called her father. While he drove, he called his mother and told her what he had done to Bennett, Katie, and Anthony. She then called the police.
911, address of the emergency. Yes, my son just called me, and he told me oh my God, North Carolina. He killed his baby, and he's in the house. Okay, you said that he told you he killed his baby. Okay, ma'am, listen to me. What's your name? Okay, tell me exactly what happened. He's
Again, I don't get why you guys made me watch this shit. This ruined my whole fucking day.
He's not home. His wife broke up with him over the phone yesterday, and he told me, she's in New York, and he told me he was on his way. He called me last night and said he's on his way. He's going to bring the baby to her, and then he was coming back.
Castrations all around. I mean, I think decapitation is more of what we need.
Okay. He said he killed his wife, he killed her father, and I can't even believe this is happening. And did this happen in Nightdale? No, his wife and father are in New York. Okay, so the incident actually... he left.
Why is she calling her the wife? Because legally she is. That's
he
why.
He left the baby dead when he left. Okay, where did he leave the baby? Okay, he said it was in the... What's your son's name? What's his last name?
I don't care, Grandma's... Well, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I agree, too, that she's completely delusional, and it's really fucking weird that she would say it.
Stalin.
Oh, my fucking God.
Same as mine. When did this happen? He said he left last night. He called me, I think at maybe about 7 last night, and said he was on his way to New York. He was going to bring to his wife and give it to her.
Yeah, all right, yeah, it is weird.
And then he'd be back. And,
Now that I'm like paying attention to her saying it, it's just
and he called
so
me
fucking
this morning.
weird.
I just got off the phone just a couple of minutes ago, and oh God, he told me to call the police, that I shouldn't go over there.
Okay, so so your son is not there?
I don't get it. Like, does the family fucking approve of this shit? Like, they invited the fucking family, and this is a picture of them together. Like, did they actually approve of this shit?
No, the house is empty. He said he put a key under the front mat. A key to get into the house under the front mat.
Did he say how he did it? Or what
no,
he did?
And I didn't ask him. I didn't want to know. Oh my God. He's such a wonderful little...
The family didn't
hold on just a
approve.
second, okay?
They just knew she was being abused, and why the fuck did they not do anything?
Okay.
Hello?
Okay, I'm still here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get you over to Raleigh Communications, okay? Let me talk first when I call, okay, so I can kind of give them an idea of what was going on, and then I'm going to let you speak with the telecommunicator, okay? All right, hold on for me, okay?
Okay.
Are you still with me?
I'm here.
Hey, this is over in Cary. I have a lady wanting to report a possible homicide.
They didn't approve, but intended to remain in touch with their daughter? Why didn't they call the cops? Why didn't they, like, stop the wedding? Why didn't they do anything? You know? Like, holy shit. If I knew this shit was happening...
She got a call from her son. Was it this morning?
Fucking...
Yes.
This is just making me mad now.
Stating that
I'm angry.
His wife had split up with him, and she was in New York, and that he killed there, left him upstairs at the residence.
They were scared of him?
So I'm still here, okay?
I mean, rightfully so. He fucking killed a bunch of people. But still, like, they should have... I don't know. I feel like if they called the cops earlier, something would have been done.
Okay, thank you, Carrie.
Sometime after informing his mother of
Gay marriage is bad, but this is okay. They lied. They lied on their wedding thingy or whatever. I agree her tears don't sound real. Yeah, I don't know. The entire family. I don't like the entire family. I feel like they just didn't care that much.
of his heinous crimes, Stephen drove into Dover, New York, and took his own life. Yeah, of course he fucking did. He took his own goddamn life.
Of course he did!
It's one of those ones. Bennett,
Oh
Katie,
my
and Anthony
God!
all had longer lives to live.
Literally scum of the earth. Worst possible fucking... Oh, man.
And they were brought down by the actions of one man. If you enjoyed this video, let us know by leaving a like or a comment.
I hated it! I hated it! I hated it so much, I'm going to subscribe now. Guys, make sure to check out Dreading Crime and Psychology. I hated this video. I hated it. I'm going to subscribe, though. But also, fuck you for sharing the story with me.
Now it's time to walk away. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Did you laugh or cry or maybe subscribed? I'll thank you either way. You know I will miss you. I hope you return. Tell your friend or your mother to get me more views, please.